everybody, I'm Quinn.
And I'm Dave.
Today on the Almost Friday show for Thursday, August 5th, and Off the Press, we're talking about Scott Pilgrim coming to Cartoon Network.
That sounds cool. And from the gutters, we're going to be talking about Torchwood the comic.
In Tech Insight this week, BlackBerry's brought out a new operating system and a new phone, and they're trying to get back in the game, and we'll tell you whether they're going to achieve that or not.
And in Mad Science, Sean's going to be talking about the Raven.
And all the week this week, we show you what happens when a brick goes into a washing machine, and let's just say it's not a pleasant sight. Anyway, it's time for Off the Press.
Hey everyone, and welcome to Off the Press this week. Kind of a slow news week this week, but it happens.
Everything happened last week. It was Comic-Con.
It was Comic-Con, but this is kind of more Comic-Con leakage. So the first thing we have is so at Comic-Con there's a really cool panel with the Avengers, and they brought like all
Everybody
the Avengers out on
there.
stage, and they showed a clip before it, and everyone was talking about it. So now they've finally released it for reals, unlike the Thor trailer that kind of not really came out for reals.
They're really slamming that. It was a good trailer.
It was a really good trailer. So we're just gonna play this trailer. It's really short, and then come back and talk about it.
And there came a day unlike any other, when Earth's mightiest heroes found themselves united against a common threat, to fight the foes no single superhero could withstand. On that day, the Avengers were born.
So that wasn't very
Sure.
That was short, but it didn't really reveal very much outside of we are the Avengers. We are Earth's mightiest heroes.
Well, what can they really do?
There's
There's nothing really done yet.
Well, because they don't really have a script yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
they have a director and they have a release date of May 4th, 2012, but no script or anything, so they can't really be super specific about what's going on.
It seems kind of preemptive and really just sick, because it's like, oh yeah, we are making a movie. Here's what we kind of Nah, you know what? It could change though. Have fun.
Yay!
Hate that. That's what I hate about teasers.
Yeah, well, it's
There.
teaser for a movie that's coming out in almost 2 years.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
hopefully it continues, because it's Joss Whedon doing it, right?
Yep.
Okay.
So now moving on to something that's coming out next week. Scott Pilgrim, not versus the world, but versus the animation. So this is kind of in conjunction with the Scott Pilgrim movie, video game, toys, lunchboxes, everything.
Okay, fill me in with this one. I'm not a fan of Scott Pilgrim. I have no idea what the Christ it is. What is Scott Pilgrim? Who is Scott Pilgrim? What is he versus? Why is he fighting shit all the time?
He's a dude who's trying to hook up with a girl, but to hook up with her, he has to defeat her 7 evil exes. And it's basically his story of trying to hook up with this girl.
Okay.
It's epic, it's funny, go see the movie. You would probably really like it. But this is shorts animated for Cartoon Network. It's just going to be playing during the commercial breaks.
Oh, okay.
But don't worry, if you don't have Cartoon Network, they will be releasing it on Facebook and on the internet. Doing a proper online release, so you don't have to run to your torrent sites or anything.
I was expecting like a full-on 30-minute cartoon.
It could add up to 30 minutes.
Oh, I hope
maybe,
so.
but
If it's apparently this popular, it should at least get it.
It's basically the backstory of Scott and Kim, who was his ex-girlfriend. So
Alright.
we'll see what happens. I've seen some of the screenshots. It looks like Scott Pilgrim. There is original art by Brian Lee O'Malley, so he is still keeping involved in that. So the art style will still be there.
Okay. Well.
And in sad news, surprise, the Star Wars live-action TV show has been canceled. Woo. Is this surprising to you, Sean?
To be honest, it's half surprising, because honestly, I heard about this, that they were trying to do this a couple of years ago.
I think we talked about this when we were doing the audio show.
We did talk about it when we were doing the audio show, and you know what? It wasn't exciting then, nor is it that exciting now.
No, George Lucas basically said, we would love to do a show, the stories of have already been written, but it's just too expensive right now because we'll be making Star Wars, but on a tenth of the budget. Which, you know what?
Yeah,
It's a good thing that he's saying this now as opposed to, here's our TV show. Man, it really
True.
blows.
But the thing is, Star Wars was a super B film. It was really, really, really budget.
It was,
Like
yeah.
it was less than TV budget at the time.
At the time.
So
Yeah, but now it's special effects everything, so it's probably a special effects issue.
I'd be happy to see retro. I'd be happy to know that there was some guy sitting there for hours upon hours
that's what
upon
fan
hours.
films are for. That's what fan films are for, Sean.
I know, but
Yeah.
still, surprise.
Woo! And on that surprising news, that's all for Off the Press this week. And now over to Dave for From the Gutters.
Hey everyone, welcome to From the Gutters. I'm Dave,
I'm Sam.
and this week we're going to be reviewing Torchwood, the comic book. So, you read the first story
Yep,
and
first
flipped
story.
through the second story.
First story.
This is a book that is written by John Barrowman, who is Captain Jack
This
Jack
guy
Harkness, and his sister
Carol.
Carol.
Yep.
Carol? Karen?
Yep.
Carol.
Who also wrote his biography. Just saying.
Jack Harkness's or
John
Barrowman?
Barrowman's.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Isn't he like 18?
43?
Really?
Yeah.
He's looking good for a 43-year-old.
Yes, he is.
Illustrated. The first story is illustrated by Tommy Lee Edwards. I can't remember the name of the person who illustrated the second story. I do apologize. Trevor Goring,
Coloring.
though, did the coloring for the first story in this book. There are two stories. The main story, which is what was advertised, and then there's a backup story, which is actually going to turn into the ongoing 5-issue story.
Cool.
The first one, the Selkie.
Selkie. Yeah.
It's about 10, 11 pages long. What'd you think?
It was alright. It was, set in Scotland, which kind of funny. When whoever actually wrote the dialogue, they did a good job of making it obviously set in Scotland.
Very Scottish. Well, to be fair though, I mean, when you hear Scottish dialogue, if you watch some television station, I'm not going to say any particular ones because apparently I'm the only one who watches the BBC. Oh, I just said it.
Oh.
But they have very distinct dialogue.
Yeah.
Going on. Tommy Lee Edwards' work. Gosh, I loved his work.
Awesome.
It's Tommy Lee Edwards, right? I mean, I really enjoy his work. I enjoyed the writing. It was kind of sparse. It felt very much like dialogue from the show. The story, the Selkie. It's kind of like the siren of.
Like
where
a space siren.
But in this case, it's a space siren.
Yeah.
Calls people in and it starts killing people. And the thing about the story is that it was very short. It took 11 pages to begin, middle, and end itself.
But it worked in the 11 pages, more or less.
In the second story, we have an older view, I would believe, because Yanto's in there.
Yeah.
And we have Gwen. And I can't remember his name, the guy that was in charge of that dance hall where Jack met the guy who he took his name from.
Oh, like the old guy?
Yeah, the old guy.
Alistair.
Alistair Migler or something.
Something,
Like
yeah, that's Alistair.
that. It was an interesting story. I am looking forward to reading the rest of them. What I liked about the artwork was that I was saying this to Sam earlier. He maintained the look for particular characters.
It was consistent. Like I was flipping through, I'm like, I could tell who all the characters were. Like
And-
it's obviously kind of cartoony, but it worked with the characters.
The term for that, Sam, is stylized.
Stylized.
Thank you.
Whatever.
Ooh, wow. Someone's a little insensitive about just sort of a lot of things. All in all, this book, what do you say? What do you give it?
The first story I read, I'll only grade it on that. I'll give it about a B minus. Most of it is being brought up by the artwork.
That's true. The artwork was probably the coloring. Trevor Goring.
Oh, nice.
My goodness, did he ever do a good job? I really enjoyed the coloring. I found it interesting that in a book where Tommy Lee Edwards' work was the visual,
Yeah.
the other half of the visual was, because I love Edwards' work, Trevor Goring's coloring, I'm surprised that he really distracted me from the artwork.
There's a
And then I
really
went
nice-
back again and read it
There's
again.
a really nice page in here where he's taken off from the Space Sirens planet, which the coloring is gorgeous. I was reading, I'm like,
Yeah.
that's a really nice page.
Yeah. It's really nice work. I really enjoyed it. I am giving it a B+, because I am, if I am looking forward to the next issue of a story, that's B+ material for me.
Nice.
That's it this week. Torchwood. Mr. Barrowman is involved in its production. That's it. We'll see you next week. I'm Dave.
I'm Sam.
And that's it from the Gutters.
Hey everybody, welcome to Tech Insight this week. It's going to be a rather short week in here, as well as, it's mostly just been some RIM information.
Yeah.
But we're going to start off with some Google information first, and that was Google's decision this week to decide to stop supporting Google Wave. Well, why did they do that? Because it's confusing?
And
Yeah.
all three people are weeping.
Yeah.
Just saying.
So if you don't know what Google Wave is, it was a service that Google brought out a little while ago that was kind of like Gmail, but it had some more enhanced.
Wasn't it kind
I
of
want to say
suggested
live.
No?
It was like
like-
Gmail with live action.
Yeah, the Gmail and Docs.
Yeah, essentially. So
Maybe.
what it allowed you
Okay.
to do is access all of your emails, but you could have threaded conversations with people, and you could see live typing. So if someone else was writing to you, you'd see those
Oh,
letters
God.
popping up. You could share images. You could share different parts of conversations with people. It was really interesting technology, but unfortunately, it was kind of confusing to figure out just what you could do with it or how to implement it.
Yeah.
So because of that, not a lot of people really,
It never really
signed up
caught
for
on.
it, or most of us got into the beta, but none of us really cared.
No.
Yeah.
So
I think I messed around with it for like a day, and then I'm like,
I screwed
I don't
around
know
with
what
it at
I'm
work,
doing
and
here.
yeah, exactly. I did the same thing. I was at work and was like, "Hey, look at screw it."
And there was even a website that came out that was Google Wave is more or less confusing than, and had a whole bunch of things
Yeah.
of which you could choose whether Google Wave was more confusing or less confusing than the other thing.
Yeah.
Things like the Swedish Chef, who we all love. Google Wave is more confusing than the Swedish Chef. But anyway, Google sort of realized that people didn't really know what to make of the system, and have decided that they're going to continue using it for about a year, but there won't be any updates, and
no
they'll
support.
eventually stop this.
So it's just
service.
going to fade into the background.
Well, they're going to take some of what they've built and implement it into other things. What those
Okay.
things are, they aren't really sure yet. But they are going to take. I mean, there was some really good technology.
As long as they don't waste it,
it
You
was
know,
good
it
in
was good.
concept. It was just weird.
yeah,
Yeah,
It wasn't well implemented, like
No.
Glenn was saying. It just
they have to figure out how to get people to figure out what it's doing. But
Yeah.
definitely, the threaded messaging and sharing stuff and being able to see people typing live was really kind of cool. It was sort of like MSN meets email meets your Facebook profile pictures page. It was interesting stuff, but it was overly complicated, so no one really picked it up. So we'll see what happens with that technology, but Google has decided to say goodbye to Wave for now.
Bye, Wave.
But while we wave goodbye to Google Wave, we say hello to RIM's brand new phone, which is the new Blackberry Torch. RIM's been, churning out phones like everyone else, except, well, RIM's phones are the same every time they churn it out.
Yeah.
Maybe,
Little changes to the keyboard
might be a little
nub.
bit prettier, change the nub, maybe add a megahertz or two of extra processing power. Overly not much. So this is the Blackberry Torch.
Or the BlackBerry Pre.
Yeah,
the
yeah,
same.
pretty much.
Yeah.
The big thing you'll notice about the phone is that it is, in fact, a slider phone. But what's interesting about it is it still has a larger screen. It's almost as big as the Storm, but it doesn't have the touch click screen that the
So-
Storm has, but it
Good.
is a touch-sensitive screen. So what's interesting about this phone is it actually marries all three types of technology kind of currently available. It's got the touch screen, it's got their touch-sensitive sort of mouse button,
Yep.
and then it's got a full keyboard. So it really allows the user to use whatever they feel is their best input, because there is actually an on-screen keyboard if you decide not to use the pop-out keyboard.
Yeah, I did see that.
Now-
Now, pop-up keyboard's a good idea especially for BlackBerry, because people are like, oh, I would switch to iPhone, but no keyboard.
It's because
Yeah.
people want the feedback.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing when it comes to people switching from a BlackBerry or any other phone that has a full keyboard is they need the actual feedback of
Buttons.
having the button. I mean, the touchscreen doesn't take too long to get to actually get used to.
No, definitely.
And I mean, nowadays it's getting to the point of getting to haptic feedback on everything, and even getting localized haptic feedback. But that's still not going on that
So
Not
BlackBerry
everyone's
in
on that
this
bandwagon.
case has designed the Torch, and if you look at the most recent 9800, I believe,
Yeah.
or whatever the Bold is now,
Yeah.
it's very similar to it. It's about just as thick. It's got a lot of aesthetic similarities to it, except that it slides and it has a little bit bigger screen because of that. So it's sort of a hybrid. Now, as far as the construction of the actual phone, it is really well built. That is something BlackBerry's done a good job of. Although it's rather, it's rather thin. It's not much taller than the current iPhone, which is impressive. They've still managed to make a solid slider, rather well-built feeling to it, which is something BlackBerry's always done with their phones. Their phones have always been solid for the most part. I mean, at least their most recent
I was
ones.
gonna say, they're building them to be used and abused.
Yeah.
Like, if you think about it.
They are the business phone. You put them on your holster and, turn around to talk to someone and smack
You whack it on the table, the
car door,
the car doors.
your office.
Now, this phone's definitely geared a little bit more towards trying to grab some of the market that's thinking about new smartphones. Now,
Yeah.
if you've been out and reading a lot of the reviews, the general consensus is if you were thinking about a smartphone, you're not going to start thinking about BlackBerry because of this. They haven't changed enough. And if you had a BlackBerry and you like it, you might still not want to upgrade to this one because it's done some weird things as far as what you might like as a BlackBerry user. So this is what RIM is hoping is their get back in the game phone, and I think it's kind of fallen short.
I would agree.
As far as specifications are concerned, it's running 512 of RAM now, which is decent. It's sort of par for the course for a lot of them. However, RIM has hung on to their 624 megahertz processor, which is a bit slow compared to what's coming out right now. You're going to notice that a lot of the specs are kind of like if RIM decided to make this phone last year, which unfortunately is the problem. They claim the chips are new and they run better, and obviously this one is now running the new operating system, which we'll talk about shortly, but it's still slower than the other guys. Now, the big thing, in my opinion, is the screen size. The iPhone 4 obviously having the best screen resolution now, followed by HTC's Evo and Droid X and things like that. These are all running rather high resolution displays. BlackBerry has decided that they're going to stick with 480 by 360. Which is small by any means. That's the resolution they've been using for years on their phone, and almost everyone is twice as big as this.
Yeah, we
almost.
looked this up before the show, and basically our milestones are
480 by 585.
8 something.
So
So it's
58,
basically
sorry.
And if you have an iPhone
Twice the
4, you're
size.
960 by 480, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah, it's a
So,
huge resolution.
It's a big difference. So when you are looking at text and pictures, it's really not as clear or as sharp as a
No.
lot of the other ones. Now, again, it is a business phone, but they're trying to get back in the game, and they're going to fall short there.
That's like I agree with you on that because like you said, they're a business phone, but it's like, okay, we want to try and coax the younger people, like you said, the people who are into the other phones. It really
the
isn't
people
gonna do
whose
it.
companies won't let them have iPhones, but I
Yeah.
want a smartphone with a cool touchscreen and cool stuff.
But it really isn't that innovative. You can find other touchscreen phones and other things like that for about the same price.
Yeah, which brings us to our second point, and that is that BlackBerry decided to announce a new operating system, which they're just calling OS 6.
Wow.
Seems logical.
And
Surprised Apple hasn't sued
much
over
like
that.
their phone, they're playing a little bit of catch up now.
Definitely.
Apple's seen a lot of flack for getting a lot of their features a little bit late, stuff that you should have had already.
Copy and paste.
Yeah, which is kind of what's
Folders.
happening with the new
Folders.
operating system for BlackBerry. They're giving you, an updated web browser, which was really
Oh, thank God.
necessary
Yeah,
Oh
thing.
my
that
God.
is one thing that, like, looking through the trailer on their website for the announcement, that is, I think, a saving grace for this OS.
Yeah, so they've moved to a WebKit browser, which is a lot better. It's
A
more
real
supported
browser.
by sites. They've added pinch to zoom. I don't know why it
Wow.
took so freaking long, but it's sort of an example of things they're catching up on. They've added universal search. That's a catch-up. They've added Facebook and Twitter integration. Not every phone has that, but it's definitely not something new.
And even
That's a fun feature.
Yeah.
But that's kind of conflicting with the business phone thing.
Again, this is,
It's-
this operating
Well,
system's
even-
coming out.
Yeah,
Even my
it's
work
Orange
phone
and-
though, has got the Facebook and Twitter stuff on it.
Well, you have apps for it, but these ones are directly integrated into the operating system
okay.
now. So you can browse by people's statuses and stuff like that if you're already
Oh.
contacted. It's kind of a little bit like what Palm Pre does with their Facebook and Twitter integration as well.
Okay.
They've got a cover flow system, although it's not as polished as Apple's. They've decided to move away from less menus. They use a panel dock system. When you're looking at the home screen, you get a top portion of the home screen, which will give you like calendar information, all that, and then you've got a sort of bottom dock part that you can flip through to different categories of apps, whether it be games or business or
Okay.
things like that. So they've kind of taking a little bit of that because they want to do less menu-driven operations
that's
to try
good
and
too.
get people that are used to smartphones like Android and Apple, which are just like, oh, I'm there, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's good that they've done that. You know, again, there's nothing really all that special about this operating system. There's no standout feature that they blow everyone else out of the water. So, you know, it's sort of a lackluster attempt for BlackBerry to get back in the game.
Well, from BlackBerry's perspective, like, hey, look what we're doing. It's so awesome and like new and shiny. But from everyone else, like, oh yeah,
We've had that for a while
we've
now.
done that.
Yeah. And I mean, unfortunately, BlackBerry's new and shiny is just, hey, look, it's the same phone but slightly prettier.
Same phone, little larger screen, and look at this.
That is one of BlackBerry's problems right now is that
Well,
they're
it's-
all of their handsets look the same. There's really no variety to them.
Well,
Yeah.
it's like going to your parents with your report card. Hey, look, Dad, I didn't fail. I'm average.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, obviously they're still going to draw business clients because it is one of the preferred
Yeah.
devices for
It is a
business
BlackBerry.
use. Unless apparently you're in Saudi Arabia. Because
Yeah.
recently, if you've been following any sort of political news, a lot of both Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates have asked RIM basically to decrypt their channels so that they can follow people who use BlackBerry services like BlackBerry messaging and BlackBerry email, so that they can monitor the traffic, which unfortunately BlackBerry doesn't really want to do, and
No,
and that's a
because
good thing, and that's
Yeah.
that's
It
what BlackBerry is
compromises their
known
integrity
for.
if
Absolutely.
they do that.
Exactly.
So it's like, good
But
for them.
Saudi Arabia wants to be able to follow their people a little bit more. So in counter to this, Saudi Arabia has come out and said, well, guess what? You can't use BlackBerry services.
No.
So starting tomorrow, which is Friday, if you live in Saudi Arabia, you can no longer use BlackBerry messaging or BlackBerry email. Those services have been cut off. And the United Arab Emirates are scheduled to follow in October 11th.
Mm-hmm.
And
wow.
there's also the potential that they're going to stop selling the devices altogether. So you might
Oh,
not even be
wow.
able to get a BlackBerry.
Does my phone still work? Like, can I still?
I really don't. At this point, yes.
Yeah.
You can use all your regular phone stuff, browse the internet, that sort of thing, but you cannot use BlackBerry's services because Saudi Arabia is pissed off that they can't have access to those streams to follow people and monitor stuff.
They really don't know what phones are capable of. If you can get to the web, you can do everything that you're cutting off. Pay attention.
So, RIM's CEO, Mike Lazardis, which I think I probably pronounced that wrong, has come back and said that really the problem is that the political people don't understand anything about computers and they're not getting that everything on the internet is encrypted and this is how things operate and you can't just go back and go, oh, well, we'd like to have that because you have all these people that don't know how to use a computer and asking for you to do things which are contrary to your entire business plan. So, RIM at this point is holding strong and is saying they're not going to do it, but they are in talks to see if there can be some sort of middle ground that's reached. But like we talked about, it is sort of a catch-22 for RIM because it means that they're going to get less sales there. But if they cave, then it means the rest of the world realizes that they don't care that much
Yeah.
about their integrity as far as how their security is concerned. And that's really RIM's big push is that their security is one of the better ones.
Yeah.
And I really hope that they don't cave. If they find a middle ground, great. But at
I
the
think
same
it's
time,
unlikely that they will because that's RIM's standpoint, and the CEO, Mike Lazardis, is really strong about his opinions on what his company does.
Yeah.
I guess that's the Canadian in him. So I don't see them falling back on it, maybe
No.
reaching a middle ground, but we'll see what happens. They're obviously going to struggle to keep their phones in the market.
Yeah.
Because they don't want to lose that, especially the United Arab Emirates, because cash just falls out of trees
There's
there.
a lot of
Yeah.
business going on there.
So-
It's a
and
constant stream of money
it's
and
business,
just information.
business.
I mean,
and you've
they
got to
they like
assume
their
it's all-
flashy iPhones and their
Exactly.
flashy
Yeah.
Android phones, but there's also still a good chunk of them that care more about business features on their phones.
Yeah.
So, it would suck for RIM to lose that market share because of Saudi Arabia being like, yeah, we want binoculars, So, anyway, we'll see what happens. We'll keep you updated as more things occur with that. But that wraps up Tech Insight this week, a little bit shorter. There's no behind the lens because photography was rather dull this week as well. Apparently this week in August is just not good for news.
Yeah.
Slow week. Slow
Yeah.
news week.
But Sean is going to show you a robot that might autonomously cut you up in your sleep.
Yeah.
So we'll be right back with Sean's Mad Science.
Science.
It's kind of alive.
Nah, it's still dead.
Oh.
Hi everyone, welcome to Mad Science again.
Again.
Yeah. Well, we're back. like usual. We aren't going to go anywhere.
Ah!
The only thing is, though, we're hoping to get better. I've got a little surprise that I'm hoping to have put together before the end of the month and really kick off what I want this segment to be
Not going
about.
to be surprised if you tell them.
I'm not telling them nothing.
Oh.
I'm just telling them that there's going to be something.
It's going to be a surprise, though.
Yes.
Total surprise. I don't even know what it is.
Yeah.
Or maybe I do, and I just wasn't listening.
He probably wasn't listening.
No.
It's okay. Usually people who are involved with this survive longer if they don't listen.
Unhook that capacitor. It's overloading. What?
Boom!
You know.
And it's usually fun.
Yeah.
But-
Fun. He says fun. It's fun. I think that's actually Sean's word for fire.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry. This week, what are we talking about?
This week we actually aren't talking about fire, but we are talking about something that's still near and dear to this segment's heart.
Blood and pain.
Yeah! With robots!
Oh my god.
Yeah, basically to start us off though, I wanted to talk about this neat thing called the Tsar 5. It's a German-built, torso that has...
Tsar as in like Russian rulers are?
Actually, it's German for two-armed robot. So it's just the acronym.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically, this robot is kind of the body for an AI that is supposed to be getting developed. Because the philosophy was, okay, someone's working on an AI, someone's working on a brain, but
Okay.
what good is it if it's sitting in a jar doing nothing, or on a desk? We need to give it a body, we need to give it motion, because that's the next step. And
So they're putting the cart in front of the horse?
exactly,
Or, no, I guess more of it's like you're getting a cradle before the baby arrives.
pretty much.
So,
actually.
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So they want to have a body that's going to be fully articulated and able to do anything a human body can. Specifically,
I would hope more.
Well,
If you're going robot,
Yeah.
why not? You know what? It's great. Here are your replacement legs, or here are the legs that can make you run twice
even
as
faster.
fast.
True, but we're building up to it. Basically, the whole thing is let's get it down to a basic step and
Okay.
build it up.
Let's let it walk before it runs.
Exactly.
No, I want running after I'm flying. You know, forget it. That's,
Well, you can't have it.
damn it.
But there's a short video clip of just what the operators are using it for, just as a demonstration to show its mobility. Right now, it's just the arms moving up and the body kind of turning every now and then. But the fingers and
Doing
hands,
the hokey pokey,
yeah,
and it turns itself around.
That's what it's all about. But the fingers are what I have the clip focusing on because it's amazing the hand detail. But give it a watch and get freaked out yourself. So that's an interesting clip, kind of creepy, just the way the hands move and whatnot.
A little.
And the operator is looking kind of like, oh man, I am so empowered.
I once caught a fish this big. And you see, I'm quoting this movie Dave, where the president of the United States, or at least his stand-in, is like
Is that with
controlling
Kevin-
these really big arms.
Kevin Kline?
Kevin Kline?
Yeah.
I know that's a good movie.
Yeah. So, moving along though, the next thing that was mentioned earlier that kind of freaks me out is called the Raven.
The Raven.
And as you can see in the caption below, most of you probably won't understand what that is unless you've played Fear 2. So it's kind of my little homage to that. This thing is a surgical robot which is controlled remotely. Now, the idea is that it will eventually become semi-autonomous. But this thing, as you can see in this picture, does not look inviting. It's
You
able
wouldn't
to...
want to wake up with that looming over you.
No. You really
Surprise!
don't.
Ah! And then you die of a cardiac arrest.
Pretty much. Actually, what it's doing is probably helping you fix that. So what this thing's actually able to do is quite a bit. Its dexterity is amazing. It can move. It can do. I believe it can move in all axes.
Axes?
And it's able to.
Axis.
It's so precise that it can actually tie stitches much more accurately than a human hand. Of course, it's a robot.
It shouldn't be surprising though. I mean, it can repeat things ad
Yeah.
infinitum, with the only variation being provided by a breakdown of material.
Exactly.
So
But what it's able to do is it's so dexterous that the material isn't going to break. It's so careful, but so fast. And the controls are apparently very easy, basically, from what we can see, because this has been in this sort of robot has been in the making for years now. And
Now, when we say years, are we talking like 5 years, 10 years, 20 years?
about 10 actually.
Pretty much since Saturn V hit the drive-in.
Pretty much.
Saturn V was it was a movie. It's an old movie.
Yeah.
Forget it.
But anyway, so it's a neat little device, hopefully going to be revolutionizing medicine, especially in remote areas. So if you're on a battlefield and you don't actually have a person who can pull the shrapnel out of your chest, well, if they have this on hand in a in an actual hospital, not a field hospital, they can actually operate this from Canada, from the States. It just basically works through the internet, through satellite.
Wow.
Yeah, so you could be there and the doctor's just looking at the screen going, there we go.
Running it through the 3G network, because
Exactly.
3G's
Exactly.
reliable,
As
So
long as
if
it's not
you're
on
in Thunder
Rogers.
Bay, you're kind of boned.
As long as it's not on Rogers. But, yeah, so that wraps up Mad Science. Some neat robots, just as little quick mentions. And check them out. The links are in the show notes. They're very neat, and the technology behind them is getting very, very cool. So that wraps it up for this week in science. Hopefully we got something better for you next time. Now it's time for the lull of the week.
It's that time where we try to make you laugh in some way, shape, or form.
Ha ha.
Ha ha ha.
Ha.
It's like, or like that. It's Lull of the Week. This week there's been a video that's been circulating.
Been making the rounds on the tubes.
Ooh, circulating. That's a pun. There's been a video kicking around about a dishwasher, or sorry, a
Washer
a
or
washer.
dryer.
I think it's a washer.
Probably, yeah.
It's either a washer or a dryer, some sort of household cleaning appliance of sorts, with a spin washer / dryer in it. And someone's got it set up outside, running it full crank, and it's smoking out the back like it's trying to race. Of course, it's not going anywhere.
No.
And then partway through the video, he decides it'd be entertaining to throw a brick into it.
And is it ever
Oh my
entertaining?
God, it's entertaining. You might think that just watching.
I was skeptical at first, and then I started
You
watching
figure
it.
it's just an appliance, it's just gonna break, not a big deal. But he throws his rock into it, and the thing starts bouncing all over the place, like you put a stick of dynamite in it. Anyway, it wasn't good enough to just watch the thing bounce around with the brick in it. Someone decided to go and animate it so that, the washer now has some eyes and a mouth, and it's nervous because it realizes the brick is coming to its
Who's
impending doom.
knows?
They've shortened the clip down to just about the 17 seconds of the actual brick part of it, because the first minute of the video is the thing just spinning on high speed for a while.
And smoking.
Yeah, so we're going to run that 15-second clip for you now, but if you want to see the whole video where the washer isn't an animated living thing of some sort, you can also check that out on YouTube. But here's a clip. So, having watched both the animated and non-animated one, the animated one is much funnier.
So much funnier.
Because, the eyes follow it, it's bouncing around and all that kind of stuff. So again, go watch the non-animated one and you'll realize that the 17 seconds accomplished in the animated one are just what you need for it to be all that much funnier. Anyway, that brings us to the end of the show this week. It's been a bit of a shorter show. That's
Slow news week.
Slow news week.
It's the summer,
Stuff happens, but not as frequently. As usual, if you want to get a hold of us, you can reach us at Twitter, which is almost_Friday, or you can send us an email.
At contact@almostfridayshow.com.
If you want to tell us that we're doing a poor job, or that there was news that we missed because we're not looking at the right channels, or you want to send us pictures of you dancing with your dog.
Or you
it
can
doesn't
tell us
really
how much
matter.
you miss Scott, because
Scott wasn't here today, yeah.
No.
But until next time, I would keep any kind of large objects away from your household appliances.